Hello friends. When it comes to intense and passionate pairings in the zodiac, few combinations ignite as much fire, and occasional friction, as the magnetic Scorpio man and the radiant Leo woman. This cosmic duo brings together two of the most powerful energies in astrology, fixed water and fixed fire. While they may seem like an unlikely match at first glance, when these two signs click, sparks don't just fly, they explode. Let's explore the multidimensional dynamics of this fascinating couple, diving deep into their love, sex, marriage, friendship, and business compatibility. By the end, you'll have a full understanding of what makes the Scorpio man and Leo woman such a unique and dramatic duo. Love compatibility, intensity meets royalty. The romantic compatibility between a Scorpio man and a Leo woman is a dynamic interplay of magnetism, ego, and emotional firepower. At their core, both are fixed signs, meaning they are tenacious, consistent, and unyielding once they've made up their minds, especially when it comes to matters of the heart. Their love is anything but passive, it's intense, dramatic, and deeply consuming. This connection has the potential to either burn bright with lifelong devotion or erupt in passionate clashes if not carefully nurtured. Both bring something rare and powerful to the relationship, and when these two zodiac titans come together, the result is nothing short of operatic. The Scorpio man is emotionally complex and fiercely loyal. He doesn't just fall in love, he dives into it, head first and heart deep. His love is possessive, protective, and unwavering. Once he commits, it's with the intention of full fusion, body, mind, and soul. He is not satisfied with surface-level affection. He seeks a partner who understands the unspoken language of the heart, who values loyalty above all else, and who isn't afraid of emotional intensity. He doesn't show his cards easily, but when he does, it's a declaration of absolute emotional investment. He needs to feel safe in love, and any perceived betrayal, whether real or imagined, can trigger his darker instincts. The Leo woman is a radiant force of nature. Ruled by the sun, she exudes a natural confidence and inner light that draws people in like moths to a flame. She doesn't chase love, she expects love to arrive on its knees, ready to worship. She wants to be adored, admired, and treasured like royalty. Her love language is attention, grand gestures, and unwavering praise. She is generous with her affection and loyalty, and she lights up the lives of those lucky enough to be in her orbit. But make no mistake, she has a fiery pride. If she doesn't feel seen or valued, she won't beg for attention. She'll rise, shine, and walk away. When Scorpio and Leo come together, their energy is palpable. There is an immediate fascination. Scorpio is mesmerized by Leo's boldness, her warmth, and the way she commands a room without saying a word. She glows with charisma, and her confidence is intoxicating to the emotionally guarded Scorpio. Meanwhile, Leo is intrigued by Scorpio's mystery. There's something about his eyes, the way he seems to see through people, the way he listens without speaking, the way he holds back just enough to keep her guessing. She senses depth and danger, and it's irresistible. But this relationship is not without its challenges. Their approaches to love are strikingly different. Leo wants open affection and vocal adoration. She wants her partner to post love letters on the city's billboards. Scorpio, on the other hand, prefers intimacy behind closed doors. He doesn't want to share his emotions with the world, only with his chosen one. He may see Leo's need for public admiration as shallow or threatening. He may become jealous when others notice her, even when she's being entirely innocent. To Leo, this behavior can feel smothering. She craves freedom and expression. If Scorpio becomes too possessive, she may feel like a bird trapped in a cage. Likewise, Scorpio's emotional secrecy can make Leo feel unimportant. She needs transparency, clarity, and celebration. If he hides his feelings or plays emotional games, she may feel left in the dark, and nothing frustrates a Leo more than feeling invisible. Scorpio, for his part, may feel that Leo is too concerned with appearances or approval from others, and not focused enough on the private connection they share. However, when both partners choose to evolve, when Scorpio learns to trust without control, and Leo learns to honor depth over applause, the results are extraordinary. These two signs can teach each other powerful lessons. Leo can help Scorpio come out of his shell, encouraging him to love more openly, to celebrate connection rather than protect it with secrecy. Scorpio can help Leo develop emotional depth and resilience, reminding her that not all love needs to be seen to be real. Together, they can balance the outer world with the inner one, combining Leo's brilliance with Scorpio's soulfulness. This couple thrives when there is mutual admiration. Scorpio needs to tell Leo how extraordinary she is, not just with gestures, but with words. Leo, in turn, must reassure Scorpio that her need for admiration doesn't dilute her loyalty. Trust is essential. Once Scorpio feels secure, he becomes the most devoted and emotionally present partner Leo could ask for. Once Leo feels worshipped, she returns that love tenfold, becoming the kind of partner who inspires Scorpio to open his heart. Sexual chemistry, fire and ice in the bedroom. When a Scorpio man and a Leo woman come together sexually, the result is nothing short of cinematic, raw, heated, unpredictable, and unforgettable. Their chemistry doesn't just simmer, it erupts. It's a clash of primal instinct and royal confidence, of soul-deep longing and theatrical seduction. This pairing is the ultimate blend of fire and water, dominance and desire, where emotional depth meets flamboyant flair. Scorpio, ruled by Pluto, the planet of transformation and hidden desires, is often hailed as the most sexually intense sign of the zodiac. For him, sex is never casual. It's a sacred act, an unspoken language of loyalty, power, and emotional fusion. He doesn't just want to connect, he wants to dissolve all boundaries between himself and his partner. He needs to feel consumed and consuming, wrapped in a passionate dance that's as much about the psyche as it is about the body. In the bedroom, he's deeply intuitive, almost psychic in his ability to sense what turns his partner on. He seeks control, yes, but it's control rooted in devotion and the need for complete emotional transparency. The Leo woman, on the other hand, brings an entirely different kind of fire to the bed. Ruled by the radiant sun, she is bold, vivacious, and unapologetically confident in her sexuality. She approaches intimacy like a queen, expecting to be adored, worshipped, and admired. She doesn't just want sex, she wants a performance, an experience, a memory. She wants to feel like the most desired woman on the planet. Her sensuality is expressive, open, and playful, and she thrives when her partner can keep up with her energy, her imagination, and her appetite for physical affection. When these two meet in the bedroom, sparks don't just fly, they ignite a blaze. Scorpio is captivated by Leo's boldness. Her willingness to take the lead, to seduce with a smirk, to turn pleasure into an art form, it's everything he didn't know he needed. He responds in kind with his hypnotic focus, his slow-burning intensity, and his deep hunger for intimacy. For Leo, being the center of Scorpio's undivided attention is intoxicating. His gaze alone can strip her bare emotionally and physically, and she loves the sense of danger and depth he brings. Their lovemaking often includes themes of power play, dominance and submission, and emotional vulnerability layered beneath physical ecstasy. Scorpio's need to merge emotionally gives their intimacy an almost spiritual weight, while Leo's need to be celebrated and desired adds drama, excitement, and flair. They feed each other's fantasies, turning every touch into a test of trust, every kiss into a statement of power. They may play with control, with one partner taking the lead one night and the other reclaiming dominance the next. This mutual exchange of power fuels their desire and keeps things endlessly intriguing. However, this pairing comes with a warning label. The very traits that make them magnetic can also lead to clashes. If Scorpio begins to overstep, becoming too controlling or possessive in the bedroom, Leo may push back hard. She is proud, independent, and will not tolerate being overpowered without consent or mutual understanding. If she feels disrespected or emotionally dismissed, her fire can become a flame of rebellion. On the flip side, if Leo becomes too self-focused, treating sex as her stage and Scorpio as just an audience, he may retreat emotionally, feeling unseen and unappreciated. Scorpio needs emotional reciprocity as much as physical passion, and without it, his desire can quickly cool. Communication is crucial. Scorpio must learn to temper his need for intensity with gentleness, to give Leo room to shine without feeling threatened. Leo must remember to meet Scorpio's emotional depth with authenticity and presence, to validate his need for connection beyond the physical. When they find this balance, when Leo's warmth melts Scorpio's walls, and Scorpio's intensity deepens Leo's pleasure, their sexual connection becomes something rare and transformative. This is not a couple that thrives on routine. Their sex life is a living, breathing entity, constantly evolving, pushing boundaries, and deepening in trust. They explore fantasy, vulnerability, and sensation like few others can. Their bedroom becomes a stage and a sanctuary, a place where fire and water don't cancel each other out, but create steam. When Scorpio and Leo truly click behind closed doors, their intimacy is explosive, healing, and deeply bonding. It's not just about physical satisfaction, it's about entering each other's world and leaving forever changed. Their connection is so vivid, so charged, that even their silences during lovemaking speak volumes. Sex compatibility score, 9 out of 10. Marriage compatibility, a royal alliance or power struggle. Marriage between a Scorpio man and a Leo woman can be a breathtaking saga of love, loyalty, and legacy, or a battlefield of wills and egos. It all comes down to how these two strong personalities handle power, pride, and partnership. This union is anything but ordinary. It's a grand collision of emotional intensity and regal charisma, where the stakes are high and the potential rewards even higher. At the heart of this dynamic is the issue of control. Scorpio men are known for their silent strength and strategic mindset. In a marriage, he tends to take on the role of protector, planner, and emotional anchor, but he does so behind the scenes. He doesn't need public praise or overt recognition. What he craves is control, consistency, and deep emotional connection. His loyalty runs deep, but so does his need to feel secure in the relationship. The Leo woman, on the other hand, thrives in the spotlight. She is not just a wife, she is a queen, and she needs her kingdom to reflect her warmth, strength, and style. She wants a marriage that shines. That means public displays of affection, mutual admiration, and the ability to lead without being questioned. She brings fire, creativity, and courage to the partnership and wants to be acknowledged for her contributions, not just in the home, but in the relationship dynamic itself. When these two marry, their wedding is likely to be grand, symbolic of the epic nature of their bond. But what follows after the ceremony is where the true test begins. Scorpio may feel threatened by Leo's constant need for attention and affirmation. He could see her as dramatic or superficial, not realizing that her self-expression is as much about love as it is about identity. On the flip side, Leo may become frustrated by Scorpio's intensity, his need for privacy, and his reluctance to share emotions openly. She might view his brooding silence or secretive behavior as emotionally withholding. Despite these differences, there is a powerful core to their bond, loyalty. Both Scorpio and Leo are fixed signs. They don't give up easily. When they commit, they do so for the long haul. Scorpio brings depth, emotional insight, and fierce protection to the marriage. He wants to create a bond that transcends the physical, a soul-level connection that feels eternal. Leo brings passion, pride, and an open heart. She wants to build a life that's meaningful and filled with shared achievements and joy. Together, they can create a marriage that is both grounded and glamorous. To thrive, they must learn to speak each other's emotional language. Scorpio needs to open up more and share his thoughts, rather than expecting Leo to read between the lines. He must learn to trust that Leo's expressive nature doesn't mean disloyalty, it means love. Leo, in turn, must temper her need for constant validation and show Scorpio that she values emotional depth as much as public devotion. She must reassure him not with just grand gestures, but with consistency and genuine emotional presence. Power sharing is key. This marriage will not survive if one partner always has the upper hand. They must learn to make joint decisions, celebrate each other's victories, and respect each other's strengths. Scorpio must realize that Leo's shine doesn't dim his own light. And Leo must understand that Scorpio's quiet influence is not a threat to her throne, it's the foundation of their empire. With mutual respect, this pairing can create an enduring, powerful union. Their home can become a place where emotional security meets creative energy, where depth meets joy, and where challenges are faced as a united front. Scorpio will admire Leo's courage and devotion, while Leo will come to cherish Scorpio's loyalty and emotional complexity. Marriage won't be effortless, but it will be worth it. The journey will challenge them, stretch them, and sometimes frustrate them. But if they choose to grow together rather than apart, this alliance becomes more than a partnership, it becomes a legacy. Marriage Compatibility Score, July 5, 10. Friendship Compatibility, Fierce and Loyal Bonds. The friendship between a Scorpio man and a Leo woman is nothing short of cinematic, a gripping blend of loyalty, drama, intensity, and genuine admiration. From the outside, these two may seem like opposites. One is fiery and expressive, while the other is private and emotionally deep. But when fate throws them together, they discover a surprising synergy that can blossom into one of the most powerful friendships either of them will ever know. At its core, this bond thrives on mutual respect. Scorpio is instinctively drawn to Leo's natural charisma, her radiant energy, and her unapologetic self-confidence. He sees her as someone who owns her space in the world, a trait he respects even if he wouldn't express it quite the same way. Leo, in turn, is intrigued by Scorpio's mystery, emotional intensity, and unwavering loyalty. She appreciates that he doesn't wear his heart on his sleeve, yet senses that once he lets someone in, it's for life. Trust is the cornerstone of this connection. Scorpio doesn't open up easily. He's selective about who enters his inner circle, often testing people before fully committing to the bond. But Leo, with her open heart and golden warmth, can break down those walls like few others. She has a way of showing loyalty through action, by being present, protective, and real. This earns Scorpio's respect and, eventually, his unshakable trust. Their friendship quickly becomes layered and meaningful. Late-night talks, spontaneous adventures, deep emotional check-ins, and fiercely protective instincts define their dynamic. Scorpio feels safe confiding in Leo because she doesn't shy away from intensity, she meets it head-on. Leo feels seen by Scorpio, who values her for more than her charm and confidence. He gets her emotional layers, the parts most people overlook. Together, they feel understood, which is rare for both. That said, this friendship isn't without its flare-ups. Both signs have big personalities. Leo thrives on attention and validation, while Scorpio demands emotional honesty and control. If Leo is too caught up in external validation or forgets to check in emotionally, Scorpio may retreat or become passive-aggressive. On the flip side, if Scorpio's moods become too intense or secretive, Leo might call him out, sometimes not so gently. These moments can lead to tension, but they also offer opportunities for growth if both parties are willing to listen and learn. Another potential landmine: competition. Both Scorpio and Leo have dominant personalities, and while they usually occupy different lanes, Leo more external, Scorpio more internal, there can still be clashes. If one feels overshadowed or dismissed, pride can get in the way. However, their shared loyalty often overrides ego. They don't stay mad for long. The bond means too much to throw away over petty disputes. What makes this friendship especially powerful is how fiercely they defend each other. Scorpio will go to great lengths to protect Leo's heart and reputation. He's the silent guardian, always watching, always ready. Leo, with her big heart and bold voice, will be the first to step in when someone challenges Scorpio's integrity or underestimates his value. They may fight with each other at times, but heaven help anyone who tries to mess with either of them in front of the other. Their friendship also thrives on shared values, loyalty, authenticity, and emotional depth. Scorpio may not need a large social circle, but he values the rare, ride-or-die type of connection that Leo offers. And while Leo enjoys being surrounded by people, she truly cherishes the few who offer real, unfiltered truth, something Scorpio delivers better than anyone. To keep this bond thriving, mutual respect is key. Scorpio must avoid becoming possessive or overly critical, while Leo must remember to nurture the emotional layer of their connection, not just bask in the fun and the flair. They must give each other space to be individuals while reinforcing their unwavering commitment to the friendship. When they strike the right balance, their connection becomes legendary. This is the type of friendship that's built to last through every chapter of life, from wild youthful nights to mature reflections in later years. Whether they're laughing over shared memories, navigating life's messes, or simply sitting in silence and enjoying the comfort of understanding, Scorpio and Leo prove that opposites don't just attract, they complete. Friendship Compatibility Score, 8.5/10. Business Compatibility, Strategic Powerhouse or Clash of Egos. When a Scorpio man and Leo woman step into the business arena together, the result can be either a legendary success story or a cautionary tale of two titans colliding. Both bring undeniable strengths to the table, but they also carry egos as bold as their ambitions. If they can learn to channel their power in complementary ways rather than competing for control, they have the potential to become an unstoppable force in any industry they choose. Scorpio in business is a silent strategist. He's not the one making speeches or flashing credentials, but he's always 5 steps ahead. His mind is wired for structure, long-term planning, and seeing the angles others miss. He's excellent at navigating internal politics, sniffing out weaknesses in a plan, and turning setbacks into opportunities. Scorpio doesn't waste time on surface-level charm, he's about results, precision, and impact. He watches everything, remembers every detail, and moves with the kind of quiet authority that commands respect, even without saying a word. Leo, by contrast, brings solar energy into the boardroom. She's the bold visionary, the type who can walk into a room and instantly command attention. Her natural charisma makes her a gifted leader, marketer, or spokesperson. She knows how to rally a team, ignite morale, and bring fresh, creative energy to projects that might otherwise stall. Leo doesn't just lead, she inspires. Her presence is magnetic, and her confidence contagious. She's ambitious, yes, but also driven by a deep desire to leave a legacy, to be admired not just for what she achieves, but for how she carries herself doing it. When these two personalities join forces in business, they have the potential to create a dynamic and balanced partnership. Scorpio thrives behind the scenes, creating the architecture of success, while Leo shines in the spotlight, selling the vision to investors, clients, or the public. It's a symbiotic relationship. Scorpio ensures everything runs smoothly and strategically, Leo ensures everything looks and feels extraordinary. Imagine a luxury brand, Scorpio is the designer in the shadows crafting perfection, Leo is the face of the brand dazzling the world. But here's where the potential for friction lies: both want to lead, both want to be respected, and neither tolerates being undervalued. Scorpio may grow resentful if Leo receives all the credit for joint efforts, especially when he's been pulling the strings in the background. Leo, on the other hand, may chafe under Scorpio's often controlling or secretive nature, especially if she feels her brilliance is being constrained or manipulated. The clash can be subtle at first, snide remarks, withheld information, passive-aggressive emails, but left unchecked, it can implode an otherwise brilliant partnership. To avoid this, they must establish clear, defined roles early on and stick to them. Scorpio needs to be given the space and authority to work his strategy magic, and Leo must be trusted to represent the brand or vision without constant oversight. Scorpio should be careful not to let his natural suspicion turn into micromanagement, and Leo should resist the urge to dominate meetings or minimize Scorpio's behind-the-scenes efforts. Mutual appreciation is not optional, it's essential. Communication is another critical factor. Scorpio may prefer silent efficiency, while Leo thrives on bold discussions and expressive collaboration. They need to meet in the middle. Scorpio must voice concerns before they fester, and Leo must learn to tune in to subtler emotional undercurrents in their working relationship. When they find that balance, they not only avoid conflict but actually sharpen each other's strengths. Their loyalty also plays a big role. Once they establish trust, both Scorpio and Leo are unlikely to abandon ship. Scorpio is all in when he believes in a project or a partner. Leo, for all her flair, is fiercely dedicated to those who stand by her and recognize her efforts. Together, they can weather financial challenges, tough negotiations, and corporate politics, provided they feel equally valued. Ultimately, this business pairing is about powerful contrasts aligning toward a shared goal. It's the heat of Leo's fire forging with the icy precision of Scorpio's resolve. If they can check their egos at the door, play to their respective strengths, and remain rooted in mutual admiration, they don't just build companies, they build legacies. Business compatibility score, 7 out of 10. Final thoughts, a relationship that burns bright. The Scorpio man and Leo woman are not for the faint of heart. This relationship is intense, passionate, and often dramatic. It demands emotional maturity, mutual respect, and a willingness to work through differences. But when these two truly see and accept each other, they become an unstoppable force. Their love story may be marked by ups and downs, but it will never be boring. If you're a Leo woman intrigued by a Scorpio man, or vice versa, know this: you're diving into deep emotional waters with a flame in your heart. Respect each other's space, share your vulnerabilities, and don't be afraid to let go of control. Because when fire and water find harmony, they don't just coexist, they create steam, storms, and magic. Overall compatibility score, 8 out of 10.